What's up guys, Matty Mo here, and this is the 9.7-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab A. It retails for $349 US if you opt for the one with the S Pen. Now you can also get it for $299 if you don't include the S Pen, and there also happens to be an 8-inch version which retails for $229. Now the price of this tablet undercuts the iPad and is aimed at those individuals on a tight budget or looking for their very first tablet. Now without wasting any further time, let's hop into my review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab A. The Tab weighs 450 grams, which is close to the same weight as the iPad Air 2. It feels nice and light in the hand and has a good premium feel. This is the smoky titanium version, and the body is made out of plastic, which actually looks pretty close to aluminum, and the only way to tell is when you actually touch the device. The right-hand side of the tablet has the S Pen, power button, volume controls, and a micro SD card slot. The bottom has access to a USB 2.0 slot, audio jack, and dual speakers. If you do decide to get the 8-inch version, be warned that it only has one speaker on the bottom instead of two. Flipping it over to the front, we have an ambient light sensor, 2-megapixel front-facing camera, a home button, and 2 capacitive buttons that don't light up. Flipping it over onto the back is a 5-megapixel camera that shoots 720p video and 2 round holes that allow you to attach an optional Samsung cover accessory that can be bought separately. I really do love the design of the Samsung Galaxy Tab A, but I would have loved to have thinner bezels on the front of the device to reduce the overall size. It would have been nice to have those capacitive touch buttons on the bottom light up, and it would also have been nice to have a notification light. With that being said, let's talk about the display. It's a 9.7-inch TFT screen with a resolution of 1024 by 768, and it also has an aspect ratio of 4:3 and 132 pixels per inch. The screen is bright, the colors are good, viewing angles are great, but the text is extremely pixelated, and after using it to browse the web and read books, I found myself getting turned off with the viewing experience. I understand it's a budget tablet, but I feel they could have put a better screen inside for the price point. Samsung also includes 2 different types of display modes, one which is adaptive display, which uses the ambient sensor to adjust the brightness based on your surroundings, and the other is reading mode, which dims the screen so it's not so hard on your eyes. I left it on adaptive for the most part, but I can see the reading mode coming in handy when you're in a dark room. The good news is that watching videos is not so bad, especially because it has dual speakers, which give it a richer sound experience than devices that only have one. The volume gets quite loud, and even at the highest volume setting there was no distortion. Just to let you know, the 8-inch version of this tablet only has one speaker at the bottom of the device. So if external sound is really important to you, then you might want to stick with the bigger one. Moving on to software and performance, and inside is a quad-core 1.2 GHz CPU, and for the most part it runs pretty well. Even though there's only 2 GB of RAM inside, transitioning between apps and menus were pretty fluid for the most part. It's also running Android 5.0.2 and the latest version of TouchWiz, which means it's going to have a lot less bloat than previous versions. If you like TouchWiz, it's going to feel right at home for you with the inclusion of multi-window. I enjoyed being able to answer an email and copy something off the web at the same time. Multi-window really shines on bigger devices as you have all that screen real estate to take advantage of. I usually don't like to rely on benchmarks as I feel the actual user experience means a lot more than the final score from some app. But for those of you that are curious, Geekbench scored 470 for single core use and 1430 for multi-core. On Antutu, it scored 21,987, which comes below the Asus Zenfone 5. Samsung is promoting the Tab A as the ultimate tablet for families and children. It includes the ability to set up different profiles and restrict users from messing with your apps. I decided to create a profile for my 2.5-year-old daughter to see how she liked it. Overall, she was really happy. She went straight to YouTube and demanded Sesame Street immediately. She had no problem holding the tablet and navigating through the menu and applications that I set up for her. The size is a little big, but she never dropped it or felt it was too heavy. I do think the 8-inch model would have been a better fit for her. My wife, on the other hand, is a real estate agent and felt she could carry this tablet to meet clients to sign papers. But she did mention the quality of the screen not being acceptable for viewing pictures of homes and reading text. Perhaps the Galaxy Tab Pro would have been a better option. Now when it comes to storage, you only have the option of getting it with 16 GB of internal storage space or 32 GB if you buy the version with LTE. Thankfully, any model you choose comes with a micro SD card slot, allowing you to insert up to 128 GB of storage space. The 6000 mAh battery is non-removable and provides good battery life. I often use the tablet for an hour or two every day and found myself recharging after 4 to 5 days of use. Next up is the camera, and I'm not going to go too in-depth since most tablets tend not to have the greatest cameras. but the 5 megapixel shooter on the back takes decent photos when there's lots of light. Sometimes you can get a lot of noise, and I found the autofocus to be a little slow. Also, the ability to double tap the home button to go directly into the camera like you can on the Galaxy S6 is not present. Just remember that this tablet can only record video up to 720p, which means it's not the greatest device to record any special moments, but it does the job for social media. And finally, 2 megapixel camera on the front is fine for the odd video call. So what's the bottom line then? For a budget tablet, the Samsung Galaxy Tab A provides a really good user experience, but it does sacrifice display quality. I also would have liked to see a 16:9 aspect ratio instead of 4:3. But for those of you on a tight budget or looking for a tablet for a family member, this tablet will provide a good user experience. So what do you guys think of the Samsung Galaxy Tab A? Would you buy it? And if you have one right now, let me know what you like and dislike about your tablet in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please go ahead and smash that like button. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see everybody in the next video.